Hello, friends. Today I want to talk to you about Mugwort, Artemisia vulgaris. This plant here, not to be confused with Artemisia absinthium, which is the plant that Wormwood is made out of. I thought I would write a blog article about this for the Roxbury home store, but who knows how many years it could take before that happened. And I just read a article by the National Institute of Health yesterday evening, so this is all really fresh on my mind. I tend to move from one plant to another, one interest to another. I want to preface this by saying a couple things. So I have a faith. It's not Christian per se, but it's based out of the Judeo-Christian, I would say. The closest I could associate with my faith with or my spirituality would be Unitarian Universalism. So things fit into in my cosmology, they fit into that viewpoint. And secondly, even though I know quite a bit about plants, I'm not an expert, and people lately seem to think I am because I'm growing these plants and I can talk a little bit about them and I'm selling them. So it's particularly the mugwort, which has been incredibly popular this last few years, not only as a product from the Roxbury home store, but as a conversation topic. And I'm not a doctor. I'm not a allopathic doctor. I'm not a naturopath. I have learned a lot from naturopaths and allopathic doctors through my own journey with my various health problems, such as hypothyroidism and chronic Lyme disease and bipolar type 2. So, herbal medicines, just because they're plants, it goes without saying. There's a couple things because it's a plant doesn't mean that it can't have toxic effects. Even if it's a plant that's considered edible, you have to think about how certain medications interact with others and can cause allergic reactions or contradictions. And plants can do the same. For instance, Artemisia, the genus, is in the Asteraceae family, if I recall correctly. And Asteraceae yarrow, which is also a super plant, is in the Asteraceae family. And some people have very severe allergic reactions to Asteraceae. It's, I believe, commonly associated with the daisy, and it's one of the most common allergies to a plant is to those plants in the Asteraceae family. And that could be because they all tend to have, I think they all produce or mostly produce a very aromatic, what one would describe as a volatile oil. Like when you touch mugwort and you smell it, it's a very strong, especially when it's fresh. It's almost overpowering. And the same thing with yarrow. Like when I've worked with dried yarrow, I've gotten some irritations. So those are things that I wanted to mention. I It's going to be interesting as I go along because I am becoming, or my company, the Roxbury Home Store, is becoming a source for these herbs and plants and also live plants. It's going to be interesting to see how that plays out because being a supplier of something doesn't mean that you're an expert in it. So I want to talk a little bit about how I got to where I am